morning, when you've seen the market on the left-hand side of the screen, there he is, there's Keith with us today. Keith's got two very interesting new price targets. One on Nvidia, he says it's going to $2,000, and the other on Microsoft, he says it's going to $500. Okay, Keith, why don't you start with Nvidia going to $2,000? Make your case.
Absolutely. This is so exciting because you're talking about $1 spent in AI is going to retrieve $5, $6, $7 in hyperscale expanse. The company is firing on all cylinders. Demand is insatiable at 30 cents. If we're looking at 30 GP, I have red lips today, Stuart. Yeah. We're going to go from 30 bucks per share, 60 bucks per share at that number, 2,000, 2,300 pre-split.
So, I mean, it's going to be the most valuable American company at that rate. I mean, at the moment, Microsoft is worth $3.2 trillion, Apple's $2.9 trillion, Nvidia is $2.6 trillion. If they keep on, as you suggest, they will be the most valuable company in America. Is that legit?
I think it is not only legit, but it is probable. I think that we're going to take out the number 2 slot this year, maybe next year at the latest. By the end of the decade, it could well be that. Now, don't forget, Apple and Microsoft are going to continue to innovate on their own. So it's going to be a tough race, but it's going to be a good one.
Right.
That was Keith Fitz-Gerald, principal of the Fitz-Gerald Group, which provides consulting services to professional wealth managers, saying that Nvidia stock will hit $2,000, and in turn, Nvidia will become the most valuable company in the world, surpassing Apple and Microsoft. We've heard the same thing from Wedbush Securities Dan Ives, who also said that Nvidia will become the world's most valuable company, but his $1,200 price target is nowhere near Fitz-Gerald's $2,000. To put it in percentages, Ives is expecting an upside of 9.4% from current trading levels, while Fitz-Gerald is seeing an upside of a staggering 82.4%. But can Nvidia stock really hit this ambitious target? Let's find out in today's video. But first, if you want to keep up with Nvidia's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates. Now, back to today's video.
Joining us now with more on the AI race, if you could really call it that, is Bloomberg's Alex Webb out of London. So, Alex, it seems like Jensen Huang has, he's head and shoulders above the competition. Can AMD or anyone else really catch up to him?
I mean, head, shoulders, waist, all the way down to the ankles, yeah. I think. NVIDIA's added something like $100 billion in annual spending on the relevant chips, on the the accelerators used for AI. AMD, which is the next closest competitor, is expected to do something like $4 billion this year. So it just say it pales in comparison. It is doesn't even get close. The thing that is interesting, of course, is that we've just seen NVIDIA announce the next generation and the generation beyond that. Meanwhile, you're seeing a bunch of others, not just AMD, but of course some of actually NVIDIA's customers, the likes of the big cloud operators, try to get into the space too, but they are trying to get to where NVIDIA is now, right? They're moving fast to be able to stand still. NVIDIA is already on to the next thing. It gives them a huge head start. And that's not just about the actual technological capabilities, but it's also about the manufacturing capacity, because a lot of these things, or almost all of them, are made under contract by TSMC in Taiwan. If NVIDIA, we don't know the details of the contracts they have, but if NVIDIA has a lock on that manufacturing capacity for the years ahead, it makes it incredibly difficult for others to get into the space.
NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, recently unveiled the company's next-generation Rubin AI platform and also introduced new tools and software models. Huang said that NVIDIA sees the rise of generative AI as a new industrial revolution and expects to play a major role as the technology shifts to personal computers. Indeed, Bloomberg expects the generative AI market to become a $1.3 trillion market by 2032, and NVIDIA will do everything in its power to capitalize on this explosive growth. This was made obvious by a statement Huang made during Computex, as he said that NVIDIA plans to upgrade its AI accelerators every year and announced a Blackwell Ultra chip for 2025 and Rubin for 2026. Huang also promoted the use of digital twins in a virtual world that NVIDIA calls the Omniverse. To show the scale possible, he showed a digital twin of planet Earth, called Earth 2, and how it can help conduct more sophisticated weather pattern modeling and other complex tasks. He also noted that Taiwan-based contract manufacturers like On High Precision Industry Co., also known as Foxconn, are using the tools to make plans and operate their factories more efficiently. During the company's Q1 earnings call, Huan told investors and analysts to expect a lot of Blackwell revenue this year and confirmed that demand for the company's flagship H100 chips is still as strong as ever. So the H100 is still in strong demand, and so is Blackwell, as Nvidia already has multiple big tech names signing up for the chip, including Amazon, Tesla, and Alphabet. Not only that, but the company is planning a brand new, even more powerful chip for 2026. With all of this in mind, it seems that Nvidia can really become the world's most valuable company, and Nvidia stock at its current price seems like a great buy. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Investocracy.
Overall, when you talk about the AI chip kingdom and which companies dominate, and as they jockey for position, I mean, obviously Nvidia has been a leader, the leader. Where do we stand? What do you watch there?
Yeah, Nvidia, if you just look at the server centers, right? Nvidia has a 65% market share there. So that's a heck of a head start and a heck of a moat. Intel's next with about 22% of that market. And then AMD with 11%, a lot of market to grow there. And we know demand is going to remain strong for these centers, these data centers. They got to do all the processing and the storage of our data. That's where you're going to see a lot of big profit margin there. That's why you're seeing the big chip makers targeting the data centers for that revenue. But they're not stopping there. It's desktop. It's laptops as well. So everywhere you look across the ecosystem, whether it's the server centers or the laptops on our desk, these chip makers are fighting for dominance there. But Nvidia has the biggest lead, and investors have responded to that. If you just look at this year so far, the market performance, it's Nvidia, and it's Nvidia alone, basically the winner among the chip makers.
After the company's Q1 earnings, Nvidia shares traded at all-time highs, and Nvidia looked virtually unstoppable. The company beat Wall Street's expectations and management's guidance targets, and put out incredible guidance for the current quarter. Now, covering all of Nvidia's proven or potential growth catalysts would take a book, but we can only scratch the surface here. First of all, Nvidia is making money hand over fist. In fact, top-line revenue jumped 262% year-over-year in Q1, driving adjusted earnings 461% higher. Meanwhile, free cash flow exploded 479% higher. Additionally, Nvidia's manufacturing partners, led by TSMC and Samsung, don't have unlimited production capacities. Heavy demand for Nvidia's current lineup of AI accelerator chips has created a backlog of unfilled orders and product delivery wait times of roughly 4 months. That's down from 11 months in the fall of 2023, partly thanks to export restrictions into China. Still, the supply and demand equation remains heavily unbalanced in favor of strong demand and limited supply. Therefore, Nvidia investors shouldn't worry about a demand issue anytime soon. Nvidia is mainly capitalizing on generative AI and data centers, but the company is also actively seeking new applications for its proprietary chip architectures. For example, we have the Nvidia Drive self-driving vehicle control system and the Project Groot model for humanoid robotics. And while these initiatives are fairly small so far, they may become serious revenue streams over time. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
What else are we looking at in terms of valuations, Alex? I was thinking at the beginning of last year are getting pretty frothy, but this stock, Nvidia at least, continues to run higher and higher, and everyone I talk to, investors, tell me that valuations really aren't that high.
Yeah, I mean, look, the absolute number in terms of the market capitalization, I think it's nudging north of close to 2.6 trillion at this stage. But when you look at it as a multiple of its forward earnings, they aren't necessarily crazy numbers. Sure, it's at a premium to the market. I think it's trading at about 37 times its 12-month blended forward earnings. Now, that isn't a crazy number when you look at some of what other tech companies have done in the past.
While Nvidia definitely still has more room to run, many analysts think that the stock might be due for a correction soon because enthusiastic investors may have lifted the stock price too high. However, this doesn't mean that the stock will see a dramatic plunge. Far from it. The upsides listed earlier should keep the stock afloat for quite a while. Other chip makers will surely steal a few contracts over time, but Nvidia is an early leader, and it won't be easy to shake the company off the AI accelerator throne. There's room for several big winners in this corner of Silicon Valley, and Nvidia should be one of them for the foreseeable future. Therefore, we can't really recommend selling your Nvidia shares in the near term, and that's especially true if you have a small stake in the company. That being said, Nvidia's lofty valuation ratios and skyrocketing stock chart are making many investors and analysts alike nervous. The company is executing everything perfectly so far, but no one knows how long that streak will last. But we should keep in mind that it's a long way down from a near $3 trillion market cap, so on a scale of buy, sell, or hold, you could simply hold on to most of your Nvidia shares for now, with an eye toward buying more if a price correction happens. But what do you think about Nvidia stock? Is it a buy at the current price? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to tell us what your valuation for Nvidia is. If you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.